Johannesburg city centre was busy. Hundreds of people shopping in the late morning sun. Most were much taller than Ged. Pan-humans, typically standing over 2 meters tall, made it difficult for him to see where he was. Hot, dry wind occasionally whipped through the street, but it didn't seem to bother the shoppers, eagerly racing among the shops, searching for presents. Ged had heard of Christmas. It was widely celebrated on Earth, but nowhere else had the same length of year, and in many cases not even day length. Most other worlds had their own celebrations, some similar to the festive spending all around him. But the busy Saturday morning was not ideal for hunting bounties. Being so short, he could hardly see 10 meters. His view filled with the legs and bags of so many shoppers. Even the uplifts were taller than him, and just as eagerly powering their city's economy. It was becoming exhausting to work his way through the crowd. He knew where he was going, but the destination was somewhere in the city, so he had to push on. Most of the crowd didn't notice him, even occasionally knocking or kicking him without realizing. Another contact on his shoulder was no surprise, until a familiar voice followed it. "Ged?" It was the voice of Captain Cozy. He hadn't heard it since the war, but he would never forget those days on the Hastur. Turning to face Cozy, Ged smiled, mirroring the expression on the captain's face. "Good to see you, Captain." "How are you doing?" Cozy's smile faded, recalling the last time, and first time, he met Ged. "Working. I don't suppose you know where Malik's Bar and Grill is, do you?" Ged's own smile had faded as well. The Hastur had featured in some of his nightmares, but he had good memories of the crew, the living ones at least. "I do. I'm heading that way myself," gesturing down the street as he spoke. Following Cozy made the walk much easier, breaking the crowd enough for him. The kicks and bumps dropped away, allowing his strength to return. "Do you live in the city?" "Yes, my family home is on the south side." Cozy shared his home address with Ged, sending it in an encrypted digital file. "Once you're done with work, you're welcome to visit. I know my mother would like to thank you for helping me get home." "Thank you. I may do that. I only arrived on Earth this morning. It's my first time." Cozy laughed. "Well, that explains the expression on your face. It's not like other worlds, is it?" Ged shook his head before realizing he was behind Cozy. "No, it smells a lot stronger, and there are so many people. How does anyone get anything done? It must be tough being a cop on Earth." "It is what it is. The Earth is definitely not like Venus, that's for sure, and I guess you are not familiar with the holiday." "I have heard of it, but we don't celebrate it on Vesta." "No, I imagine not. It's big on Earth, though. An opportunity to share gifts with your family and friends. Oh, and eat your body weight in fatty foods." Cozy laughed again. He was looking forward to the holiday. He'd been serving in the fleet last year, and after the events of the war, he felt like he really needed the happiness that the season created. Conversation continued. Just like conversation, Cozy was not interested in prying into Ged's work. He was happy talking about festive things and family, but it served to fill time until they arrived at Malik's. It was in the busy city, not a great place to capture a bounty, but he didn't expect to have to fight her. Niccole was a hacker and thief, not a fighter, but she had evaded Ged before. "Here we are. Good luck with the job, and I hope you'll come by the family home." "Thanks, Cozy." "David." "David. I will definitely visit once I am done here. The last time I tried to capture her, I was in Gem City for days, so if you have a—" Cozy raised a hand. "There are 3 guest rooms at the family home. You're most welcome to stay in one while you are here." Cozy smiled again. I don't think my family would forgive me if I made you use a motel. Thank you again. Ged headed into Malik's, heading for the bar and taking a seat. Miss Lily had sent him the tip. Niccole was going to be here in just under 3 hours, meeting a mark. It was the best shot he had ever had at taking the bounty, but she may recognize Ged, so he sat where he could see the doors but had cover from being seen. He had images and details for Niccole's mark, but he was not here yet, so Ged ordered a tea and burger, settling in for the long wait. The burger was disappointing. Clone meat never satisfied Ged, but it made it easy to take 2 hours to eat it. The tea was excellent though, so he drank several cups over the wait, until Mr. James arrived in the bar, moving to a booth and ordering food. He was 20 minutes early, so he had time to eat and relax. Ged ordered some ribs and another tea before moving to the next booth, sitting behind Niccole's mark. The size of the booths made it easy to remain out of sight, but he could still hear what was going on. A few minutes after sitting, he positioned a camera on the back of the booth. Its tiny size and transparent casing made it extremely difficult to see, but it allowed him to watch Mr. James eat his grilled chicken. At exactly 5 p.m, Mr. James froze in place for a few seconds, his fork midway to his mouth. Ged moved quickly, turning and slapping a headset onto the mark. Niccole's mind was downloading into his body, compressing Mr. James's mind in the process. Ged redirected her mind into the headset, locking her in and starting the decompression of the mark's own mind, before removing the headset. A few moments later, Mr. James put the fork in his mouth, unaware of the events that just transpired. The ribs tasted better now, the pleasure of victory making even clone meat taste like the real thing. Finishing his meal quickly, Ged paid his bill and left Malik's. Time to visit with the Cozy family, he thought, checking the address and plotting a walking route. Ged began weaving his way out of the city centre. Once the crowd thinned, Ged contacted the UNS Bounties Commission, sending the captured mind in. It took longer than usual for a response, immediately causing him concern. The response was a call from the Commission. Hunter 88V4 11827. The mind you sent us appears to be an 8-month-old copy of your own mind. Ged hissed aloud, angry at himself. He had last seen her then, a copy of his mind chasing her through the laser network. She must have copied his mind while he was in pursuit. After explaining the mistake to the Commission, Ged received the copy from them, transferring it to his ship's storage unit. This is not over, Niccole, he muttered as he walked.